Probably can't go through every like class, but I had a question about the Charlos not being on ESPN's.
Not been on ESPN top 10.
They weren't on ESPN top 10, and I was like, but they put a edit on there that said it's due to inactivity.
It's a lot of inactivity there for especially Jamal.
It is, but still, you still gotta have them.
Yeah, you gotta have them.
Because at the same time, you'll still try to keep.
Yeah. Who else they did?
Pacquiao out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta have them boys.
Let me find out who they. I'm gonna go find it again.
A lot of them don't like the Charles because of their attitude.
Yeah,
that's what I think too.
That's what it's about.
Too. Yeah.
But one thing about them boys, they can fight.
For sure.
Yeah.
You gotta respect they can fight, man. What he did with Castaño that second fight, man.
The second fight.
Mm-hmm.
The second fight.
Not the first one.
The
second. Tony Harrison, not the first one.
Not the first one. The second one, yeah.
Yeah, Castaño. I was surprised how the level of fight Castaño had in him that first fight.
Bro, you know what?
I was surprised.
You know what? I knew he could fight. But the way he fought that first fight, I'm like, oh shit, like this motherfucker's a problem.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me like he got that like Derevyanchenko kind of like surprise, like oh damn, he good, like he can actually fight.
Save it for the.
Oh, we running.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we running. This is what's called B-roll.
Oh okay. Let's get that.
This is what's called B-roll. But yeah.
Yeah, no, but he surprised me, because that's my first time seeing him fight somebody.
Mm-hmm. Castaño, right?
Yeah, like fight a real fighter. Because like, okay, he beat Laura, but Laura, and plus it was a close fight. But the way he fought Charlo that first fight, I said, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. I think Laura was undersized coming up. I mean,
think
and he was
Charlo
kind of on the way down.
Him first fight
He
though.
on the way down, yeah.
Of course.
He underestimated him.
No, I didn't think so.
You don't think so?
He didn't because they knew who Castaño was. Castaño he beat Bud and amateur, Spence and amateur. He beat one of them amateur.
I think it was. I don't think it was Bud. I think it might have been Spence.
He beat him in amateur or whatever. So he knew
that's
he was.
amateur. You know the amateur.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You put stock in.
But the thing is, when you lose money in an amateur, whatever, it's a thought in your mind like, oh shit, like still in the back of your mind, like he's somebody you can fight. So I mean, I didn't think he took him for granted. I just think he didn't really understand his style until he got in there with him. The second time was better.
Second time was way easier.
I know him.
Second time was way easier. That's for sure.
But you know what? Them heavy shots from that first fight really hurt Castaño.
See,
it weighed into the second fight too.
It's a super middleweight right here, right? And go all the way down. They got who they got on there, but look at this one here. This one I kind of understand a little.
Who?
Daniel Jacobs.
What you mean?
Removed from inactivity.
Then that's not fair, dog. That's not fair.
I don't get that. I understand why they might say that, but I don't know about that though. I think you got to keep them in if they prove themselves.
The thing is, who running stuff.
For sure.
Very biased, you know what I'm saying? Very biased.
Come on, Triple G is the #1 middleweight.
That's funny.
You know why they're very biased.
That's funny. Biased. He on the way out. He 1 feet, 2 feet out the door. He got retirement.
He got beat by Canelo.
Yeah.
Look, like they have.
Oh, he beat Canelo that first fight though.
Yeah.
No, he should have won that. He should have won that one. Come on now. Jamel has been removed for inactivity. He's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, and then they got a picture of the brother right here for junior middleweight. Yeah. Same thing here. They say at the bottom for the edits, like.
Nah, they don't like Charlo. But one thing about them boys, you gotta give them their respect.
Liam Smith, they moved him
That's
too.
BS.
Yeah, come on. I think
they took Liam. They put Liam on there. Oh, he moved to middleweight. Okay, yeah.
That's BS, man. You might not like how them Charlo boys act, but you gotta respect how they fighting.
For sure.
Because they one was Jamel or Jamal? Which one beat Tony Harrison? Because he on here. Jamel beat Tony Harrison.
He lost the first one.
With the second one, what happened? What happened in the
Domination.
second fight? Exactly.
But Tony had 1 foot out the door. Tony had 1 foot out the door.
He's in the top 10.
But the second fight wasn't domination. The second fight.
Domination.
Huh?
Tony been losing.
But the second fight.
No, Tony had it early on.
He was winning that fight.
He had it early on.
He was beating.
But what happened?
He got caught.
What happened?
But he was beating Charlo.
Robbie macaroni next after that.
But it happened.
You seen Harrison last fight, and I like Harrison, but he a coach now. He a coach.
They got him, but they got him 8th though.
Who?
How that makes sense? But this is ESPN.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Boxing need a new voice, bro. That's ESPN.
And then they get rid of Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
They got
look. Give us.
Max was biased too.
Look, Max was real.
All it takes.
Yeah, but he used to be biased. Years I didn't like Max Kellerman on HBO because he was always.
That's how I knew him. HBO.
I knew him from HBO, but when he used to be on there talking boxing, he was biased a lot with HBO fighters.
I didn't think so. You know, to me as a fighter, I thought he was.
I like Max Kellerman.
He knows his stuff. He's a historian. He know what he's talking about. It's like you know all the information, so you can distort it how you please and make it sound how you want.
Another thing he did was all them older Caucasian guys, you know what I'm saying, what he did, you know how they gonna always be biased. He spoke from a direction, you know what I'm saying, being the same hue that they were, you know what I'm saying. He spoke from different directions, you know what I'm saying, which I respected that, you know what I'm saying.
I like Max Kellerman analysis of boxing as far as like his knowledge on it. But I think at times, you know, you gotta boss too. And whatever,
that's fair.
Yeah, you gotta push whatever HBO fighters need to get their shine too. So I think sometimes he would lean a little more to the HBO fighters being.
I mean, what you had to.
Yeah,
you know his bread is butter.
Just his job. You know?
His job. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
One thing about boxing, they get sides.
And boxing has a lot of politics.
Yes, it does.
Oh my God, bro. That's fine.
All right. Let's start the show. Let's
start.
Welcome to the Pool Counter Podcast, the ultimate show for boxing enthusiasts of all levels. Hosted by me, Wendy. Today I'm joined by my boy Dennis. Dennis, say what's up to the people. He's off in the corner right there. And our esteemed guest today, Joseph Elegele, man. Say what's up to the people, man. Yeah. Now, this podcast takes a deep dive into the world of professional boxing and other major fight sports, recapping the most exciting matches from the previous week and providing insightful takes and predictions for the upcoming week of fights. Now, we'll have the occasional interview, maybe shooting for one every month, one every 2 months, whenever I can get my hands on it as a growing platform, of course. We're trying to be the new home of boxing, though, just so y'all know. But in each round, I'll be bringing my passion for the sport to the forefront, and we're going to do it like that. All right? So I think we'll start today with the interview of yours truly, and we'll see where we go from there. We'll jump into a few topics from there, and then we'll finish off with our picks, all right? All right, so this segment, I think I'm going to call it Against the Ropes.
Okay.
Right? Because there's going to be some tough questions. You know, it's going to be cool, obviously, but, you know, you're against the ropes. You already know how that is as a pro. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Get off the ropes.
All right, so let's start with the Martinez fight, right? Elegele versus Martinez. That was, everybody knows that's your actual first loss that you ever took as a pro, right? How did you feel going into that fight?
You know,
because he surprised you. By round one, he surprised you.
He surprised me, but the thing about it was, you know, boxing is a very, very tricky sport. Very, very political.
For sure.
Some things with that fight happened, you know, because honestly, I didn't know who I was fighting to the day before. And well, I didn't know.
He was a swap?
Yeah, I didn't know who I was going to fight to the weigh-in.
Okay, so was he a swap last minute, or did you just, was it kind of like what was it? Why is that?
Okay, because I was supposed to fight another Al Haymon fighter, right?
Okay.
Named Leonard Lane.
Okay.
And we both was, you know, up and coming prospects. And I got a phone call saying that you're gonna fight Leonard Lane. But you know that fight didn't happen because
scared? I'm not. You scared?
No, not at all. One thing about, you know, me, I fear nothing.
Leonard, no, I'm thinking Leonard.
Leonard Lane. No,
they pulled him out.
This is what happened, right? And this is not, I say boxing is very tricky, a lot of politics.
Of course.
And one thing about boxing is mental.
Absolutely.
It's mental.
Absolutely.
So if you're not mentally ready for something, it's hard to be physically ready for it.
Absolutely.
And I got my guy from Texas, from Washington D.C., Ty Barnett. He's a
I've heard the name.
Ty Barnett,
yeah.
He's a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? He called me and said, "Bro, you're fighting Leonard Lane?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, I'm out here in Houston right now, and they saying he's gonna fight you, Joseph Elegele. You don't want him." I'm like, "Nah, I didn't know that." So, you know,
and at this time, you're staying in shape
I'm in
year
shape.
round, pretty much,
I'm
right?
in shape because I know,
This is still, what is this? This is junior middleweight at the time, or this is what is this? This is still what? This is welterweight, or
I'm fighting at 140.
okay.
I'm fighting at 140, and I get the phone call. Well,
As far as the Leonard fight,
yeah, the Leonard Lane
Yeah.
fight. I didn't know I was gonna fight him until they told me. I found out a couple days before the fight from my friend from Washington D.C. But we both are top amateurs. We both are top pros. Prospects,
unbeaten
right?
prospect on
Unbeaten
your
prospect,
end,
yes.
highly touted, 6 foot lefty, like
Yes.
great counter puncher,
And
good feet,
and a big puncher.
highly touted, great amateur career.
Yes.
Was 77 and what 77 and 7? What is it?
Yeah, say like things 77-7.
Yeah.
Amateur, and the thing was, I was just told to get ready to fight, but I didn't know.
This is Leonard at the time.
Leonard Lane, but at the time I didn't know. I was
You didn't know.
Leonard
Okay,
Lane
got you.
So my guy from DC called me and told me, bro, I'm in Texas right now, Houston. They're saying you're gonna fight Leonard Lane next one. I'm like, nah. So I called my coach, Butch.
Right.
He knew.
Okay.
I didn't know. I called Al Haim. I called Al Haim, and I called the team, and I'm like, I'm fighting Leonard Lane. They're like, no. Well, how you know? Yeah, you fight him.
Okay.
There was a lot of mix up.
Right.
So
It sounded like it was a lot of confusion.
They were trying to set me up. They were trying to set me
I see.
And I don't want to,
Because at this time though, it's crazy because yes, you are an undefeated prospect, and you're what at that time like 8-0? No, 9-0.
At that time, I'm 12-0.
12-0. Yes, 12-0. That's interesting.
Yes, and so I go because most of my guy told me I went on Twitter because I've been on Twitter or whatever. And I typed in my name. I typed in his name.
Yeah.
I see a video of him saying he's gonna fight me like weeks before.
Leonard.
Like 4 or 5 weeks before.
So
he's gonna fight me.
It turns out that you're not fighting Leonard Lane. When does it come to your awareness, at least? When do you become made aware of the fact that you are now fighting a guy named Martinez that is not many people know about? When did that come to your attention, and did you then prepare for that a certain way, or was it just, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go in here and do what I do?
Okay, so I called Al, and he didn't speak, so I spoke with his team, right?
Okay.
And I said I'm not fighting.
Okay.
I said, and they were like,
this
well,
different.
Al's not gonna be.
This is different.
He said he's gonna be mad.
Yeah,
Al's gonna be
sure.
mad if you don't fight. Like, I don't care. I said, you give me a month notice and give him a month notice, and I'll beat his ass. I told him just like that. And
So this was how many weeks into the date of the fight? Because you're talking about now you need a month's notice. That's not even that much longer.
Because the thing about because I was fighting so much on the regular because I was top prospect, right? And I was always in shape. The thing about boxing, again, like I said, is mental. So if a guy been mentally preparing to fight me for a whole 4 weeks,
right,
fight me, and I don't have an idea who I'm fighting until the week of the fight. Mentally, my mind I haven't been training to fight this person. My mind is not even ready to even engage or how to even figure out how to beat this guy. Because you got to think of a game plan.
Absolutely.
And so I told him I'm not fighting, and I said give me a month notice, and give him a month notice, and I beat his ass, and so the fight got canceled, right? So then they brought up, so like another month went by. We trained for the fight.
Okay.
I heard I'm fighting. We're gonna fight Leonard Lane, and
so he did agree with the whole month proposition from you.
They agreed.
Okay.
So I was in California at the.
And I'm sorry. What's your actual process when you say getting ready? Are you do you watch video, or is it kind of like I'm gonna get in there and download in the ring, or are you like watching tons of video? Like why a month? Because you're already in shape, right?
Every fighter watch video. I don't care what
sure.
video. They watch video.
We'll get to Floyd later, though. Leave that alone. We'll get to Floyd later.
But everyone watched video.
Yeah.
So, to me, like I said, boxing you have to be prepared mentally and physically.
Right.
So I'm watching. Okay, I'm watching video. Okay, when he do this, I'm gonna do that. When he do this, I'm gonna throw that punch. So you're preparing to fight this person, and so what I'm saying is mental. So if you're not ready mentally to fight, they call you like last minute to fight a big fighter, you're not gonna be ready for him because you haven't prepared to fight this person. And so again, we were supposed to fight this date in on ESPN in California.
Right. Put yourself back in that on that day, like.
Yeah. So I'm ready. So now, I get to the fight. Oh, Lenard Lane's not. You're not fighting Lenard Lane at the weigh-in.
I got a question. Did they ever tell you like why the fighters changed? Why they changed fighters?
They never told me.
There's a lot of politics stuff that can happen in the background.
So it just switched on you.
Yeah. And they see him as a young guy, he a prospect. He ain't,
And he's with Ronnie Shields too. You know what I'm saying? If you know Ronnie Shields, he's a big coach. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of rank. So I found out I was gonna fight at the weigh-in.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, so now I'm fighting this guy.
Yeah.
This guy, he's 18, he's 14-1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 12-0.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah, he's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And so now like, okay, all right. We fight. His style was the hold and hit.
Of course. He wanted to make it nasty. And I could tell too, because just looking at all your previous fights, or most of your previous fights, it was hard to find all of them, but looking at most of your previous fights, you seemed off in this fight, because you're normally sharp. You normally have your hands up. He kept catching you with that overhand coming from the clinch,
yeah.
but you wasn't. I kept screaming at the computer screen, clinch, or keep the hand up, because your left. You kept dropping your left, and he kept coming right over the top with that. And I think that first one, and after that first round, that knockdown, I think that kind of messed you up right there. And he just kept coming at you and would not stop. He made that a real busy fight, and it really turned into a brawl.
Because I didn't in boxing, like it was I was too young in my career to have a veteran like him.
Yeah, right.
Because even the reporters was like, oh, you guys trying to get him beat, like because people seen that, people knew, you know what I'm saying, like. But this how I feel. I feel like he was already training to fight me. He already knew he was gonna fight me. They just told me I was gonna fight Lenard Lane. And
They
switched him in at the last minute.
Could it be possible that it wasn't on purpose? Like it was just poor business strategy, poor maintaining of their fighters? Is it possible? Okay, so you felt something else. I did. Okay.
That dude he was training to fight me.
Do you think that's like a hazing process for new fighters? Is like, ooh, switch it up right here. See if you can stand.
I don't think that was
it. It was because I wasn't obedient. It was because cause one thing about me, before I got into boxing, I come from the streets, you know what I'm saying? I always did my own thing. So I always boxed since I was a kid, but if I don't like something the way is going, I'm not gonna do it. If my soul say don't do it, I'm gonna do it. I don't care who.
Rage Against the Machine.
Exactly, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so they made me pay for that. I paid for it.
All right, hey. It is what it is, but that was your first professional loss.
Yeah.
But we're not here to focus on the loss. You took some time off a little bit after that. I'm sure just a lot of stuff going on in life. What would you say was the reason for the hiatus?
Because me seeing how people, as soon as I was to fight, my coach started acting funny.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Some Ryan Garcia types.
Yeah, it's like it happened.
Yeah,
that happened.
I know. I see it.
I was looked at as the top guy now.
Right.
Matter of fact, I was number.
You had tools,
prospect.
boy. Your size, your height at that division. You clearly disciplined, being able to make that weight, because that ain't your natural weight. Look at you right now. You don't. What are you now? Like 185, 195?
No, I'm like 170 something. I just look like.
No, you are not 170. You look at least 183.
I get on 170 something right now.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But that's one thing about I always looked so much bigger than I really was.
Different distribution
I
too.
was very big. Even then when I was fighting at 140.
Yeah, you ain't look like you were supposed to be in there with him.
I wasn't. but I walked around like 143, 145.
Walk around?
I did back then. I didn't get big. I looked big, but I didn't get big.
I got you.
And it was just going through that whole process of seeing the real people, how they really act once you lose.
Right.
And, once like Floyd, once you take that loss, everybody has the Floyd Mayweather complex.
Right.
You're not good anymore.
Right. Well, moving a little forward, you get back in there in this particular fight against De Jesus, who you looked way bigger than now. Like he looked like a little man, but you did your thing that fight.
Well, I fought Leonard Lane.
Oh, you fought him in between that. You got that window. That's another one because correct. So you're moving at this point, and you getting some respect back on your name, right? All the people that was dying, like he ain't, you getting some respect. But I bring up the De Jesus fight because boy, you were down. Boy, you looked good in that fight, man. You looked really good in that fight. In fact, that was the fight I think where you used that kind of like that pull counter, come back with that hook, that right hook, and and that was I think that was it for him, man. I think that was it for him. I call that a complete domination. I call that a complete domination for sure. At this point, what you got? 11 KOs. Yeah, man, that was a good fight. What would you, if you had to pick a fight and say, yo, I was on that night. I don't care who stepped in that ring with me. They was gonna get.
It would be. I said the De Jesus fight because I was, I had a good count. Mm-hmm. My mom's in a good place. I was in a relationship. Good relationship.
Right.
And my mom's in a good place. Boxing is a lonely sport.
It can be.
It's a very lonely sport.
Sure.
And it's a lot of politics. So if you don't have a team with you, who's in your best interest, it can be really, really lonely, really draining.
Right.
When you was when you first started, did you understand all of these things, or did you learn this like as you got in it and through that trial and error? You like, oh, I need to build a team around me. I need people for this. I need people for that. I need all of these things to help me be the best version of myself as a boxer. Because what I'm doing right now, I'm good, but I can improve, or I can tighten up my skills. Because like you say, boxing is, even though it's two men in the ring fighting each other, there's a bunch of things at play outside the ring, and there's a bunch of people with teams, and your team help you. A good team will help you in the sport. So did you know that instantly in the when you got in, or how long did it take you to figure that out?
That's a very good question because that's one thing we don't know. Because boxing is such a lonely sport since amateur. Since you're a kid, it's a lonely sport. So you don't know about a team. And it took me a while to figure it out. It took me almost till I was almost done to really realize that you need a team because watching people like Bruce Ennis, who had his father, he had a team. Earl, they had teams.
Yeah.
And a lot of fights don't have teams. So if you don't have a team, in boxing, if the manager don't pick you apart, the politics of a boxing will.
Yeah, that's what I see. Like when I look at guys like Devin Haney, and I'm like, even like a Floyd coming up in the ranks. You had your uncle, your dad. You had like seasoned veterans for 20, 30 years in the sport, giving you a lot of information, a lot of game. So I feel like I understand how that aspect of things can just help make or break you as a fighter. Just watching from the outside looking in. So I always wanted to know a boxer's perspective. Do you see boxing as an individual sport or a team sport? Because I think I see it as a team sport.
Well, you definitely have a team for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you get in that ring, bro, like it's for sure you. Obviously, you got cornermen that help, and stuff like that. But you up here with it, bro.
For how many months do you guys train usually?
It depends. Like for a big fight, it'd be like 6 to 8 weeks training camp.
Them 6 to 8 weeks, you with a team, leading you up into that one night. So for 6 to 8 weeks, most of it is about your team preparing you. So
if you have a team,
team.
For me, I didn't have a team. Like, I didn't have like chefs cooking for me. I didn't have. I just had me and my coach.
That's kind of like a new thing too. A lot of guys didn't have like personal chefs and
you need
all that kind. Nowadays guys realize it for sure.
That's the advancement of just like learning from other people's trial and error. Just like looking at other people's shortcomings, or even what made other people successful. You just be like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do, or this is what I'm gonna avoid. So
and realizing you got to spend that money too.
You do. Yeah. But you have, boxing is not a rich man's sport, so you got to have a good management team who's gonna really take care of you, you know.
Right.
Give you stipend and, you know, pay for your food and pay for your expenses and places.
Right.
If you don't have that, it definitely can be a hard thing for you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now that you're talking about it's not a rich man's sport, let's move on to somebody that made being a rich man a normal thing in boxing, Floyd Mayweather. Now, one of the first things I remember from when we first met and chopped it up about boxing was that you were, at that point, at least one of Floyd's go-to, guys to bring into camp and spar as a sparring partner, right? To get him ready and keep him sharp for the fights. Now, can you tell us a little bit about how that actually happened? Were they looking at you to bring you on to the money team? I mean, they didn't really have the money team back then, but or what was it? What was it?
You know, I was out there with the whole Floyd, money team thing. I was there.
They brought you to Vegas.
What year was this? Also,
this was probably like 13, 14.
Okay.
But I was there around with him and 50 was hanging out. Everybody was still cool. I was around all these guys and stuff. Like I said, me and Floyd, we had the same manager, Al Heyman.
Yeah.
And but Floyd, he didn't use me as a sparring partner. He didn't want to use me as a sparring partner.
Wonder why?
But cause like if anybody know me, everybody know me in boxing. Everybody know I'm a big puncher. I'm a strong puncher, and I'm left-handed, and I'm 6'1", 6'1", fight at 140, 147.
That's crazy. That's crazy, by the way.
That is tough.
That's crazy.
And everybody know I'm a big puncher, but I give Floyd, we sparred one day because Floyd he just got out of jail for the whole little thing. Finally came home and he come to the gym.
Hold on. Hold that thought. We okay, but all right. So for y'all watching that, or for y'all that's gonna see this on the Wendy's Philosophy YouTube channel, I have two new channels. One for this very new platform called the Pool Counter Podcast, and that is what we're trying to make the new home for boxing. All right, so check out Pool Counter Pod on YouTube. Check out the podcast, Apple, Spotify, everywhere, and also shout out to Dear Future Robots. Subscribe to that YouTube page as well, and it's everywhere that you can find your podcast. So we're gonna get back to the rest of this story because I want to know what he did to Floyd, or what Floyd did to you. I don't know. But we will be back. But I'm jumping off this live. All right, this is behind the scenes. We'll get right at it. All right, peace.